Well, this year, technology and society have adapted to the pressures of the pandemic with working from home and virtual events coming into their own.
So what will 2021 bring? Let's ask futurist Nick Abrahams from Norton Rose Fulbright, Australia. He joins us now. Good morning, Nick. How are you going?
Good morning, Catherine. Very well. Good morning to you
Now,
both.
I've got to ask, as a futurist, I've got to start with this. Did you predict what you got for Christmas?
I did perfectly. Same as last year. Some socks, a nice tie, which I'm not sure where I'll wear this year. But anyway, it's a lovely idea.
Well, interestingly, you speak about whether or not you'll wear this nice tie, because one of the predictions for next year is that working from home is here to stay. So where indeed will all these city workers who are in their suits take their ties?
Well, it's a conundrum. Frankly, we know from research that more than 75% of workers want some sort of flexibility. They want to be able to work from home at least a couple of days a week. And then we know from some interesting work done by Atlassian, a big Australian tech company, that we're getting workers working more than 30 minutes more per day when they work from home. So it feels like there's a win-win here, but many employers are keen to get back line of sight with their employees.
I mean, there's a story in the Australian today that we were speaking about earlier in the program that bosses seem to really want to get workers back, and there's somewhat of a reluctance, and most of it seems to, well, a lot of it anyway, seems to boil down to that productivity, whether or not you're more productive at home.
That's correct. And I think what we're looking for now is really leadership in this space, and it's next generation talent management. So more than ever now, we need to focus on building culture, but also community, which we've never really had to think about before because everyone's been together. And then also communication and, importantly, collaboration. And that's where technology can really help us.
I mean, it's an interesting point, building a community and a culture outside the office. What will be the key driver of that?
Well, I think it's about avoiding a transactional relationship with the workers. So it is about coming together, trying to make sure that you're understanding more about what's going on in people's lives. And that's why collaboration tools such as virtual whiteboards and so forth can help teams come together.
We're being told to expect more cyber attacks next year in 2021.
Yeah, frankly, this has been the most disturbing feature of 2020, which is the enormous uptick in cyber attacks. And we're seeing the AFP has said that there is a cyber crime committed every 10 minutes in Australia. And we know from some work done by CrowdStrike, a technology company, that more than 2/3 of Australian companies have been attacked in some form this year. And so companies are at war and they just don't realise it.
I mean, we're being warned of hackers hitting hard with weaponised AI, deep fakes and time hacking. What does that mean?
Well, so the artificial intelligence it works great for lots of organisations, and many organisations are using it, but it also works for the hackers. And so they are becoming very, very good now at getting inside organisations and laying down the malware that then comes out later on. And so if we see what's happened just recently with the SolarWinds hack in the US, which has impacted many US government agencies, that was put down many, many months ago, and it just lay dormant until the attacker wanted to fire it up.
Who do you think is going to win that war? Will it be governments protecting that critical infrastructure, or hackers going to be one step ahead?
Hackers are always going to be one step ahead. And so I think what we really need here is, once again, leadership. We need organisations, boards, governments to take a leadership role. 2/3 of companies think that they have a better cybersecurity posture than they have. And then the second thing is training. We just all need to be aware and be constantly brought to our attention as the impact that cyber can have on us. Simple things like passwords. Last year, for the 6th year running, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was the most popular password with 23 million people using it. So yeah, we could probably do better.
Well, it's extraordinary to think that people still use that one. Something that's a little bit alarming that I read in one of your trends. I mean, we've become very accustomed to, say, voice recognition and face and biometric recognition. But you're saying that that may give way to a new battleground next year, emotional recognition. I mean, it's hard enough for some humans to work out the emotional state of the person that they're talking to. How is a computer going to do that?
So the computers are actually right ahead of us because they don't have any emotion on their side. So they're able to read a lot of the emotional cues that come from our facial features and also our voice. And so it's called sentiment analysis. Many organisations are already rolling out sentiment analysis. Where you see it most commonly right at the moment is when you're on the phone to the call centre. There's a number of AI solutions now which make sentiment analysis available so that the call centre operator knows whether you are enjoying or not enjoying the call, whether you're ready for an upsell. And the other area where we've seen it really take a hold is in recruiting. And so for many organisations, when they're doing large-scale recruiting, it'll be 3 or 4 interviews that you'll do with just camera with a machine before you'll even meet a human being.
Yeah, that's quite extraordinary, isn't it? And I think those deep sighs on those call centres are quite common. For next year, you're also tipping Bitcoin, this virtual currency, will come of age.
Yes, yeah. I need to be careful. I don't want to be providing investment advice, but gee, it's been remarkable to watch Bitcoin just surge back. It has doubled in value in the last 3 months, sitting around 34,000 Australian dollars. And when you think, a year ago it was at around 5,000 Australian dollars. So it's one of the best performing assets in the investment pantheon right at the moment. And it's really due to the fact that Bitcoin is starting to take that maturity step. So PayPal made a huge announcement and said that it will allow people to buy and sell Bitcoin on PayPal. And that's been one of the problems. It's how do you buy Bitcoin? You have to be technology savvy to actually buy and store Bitcoin.
And how do you liquidate it? Actually make some money.
That's right. How do you sell it? Yeah. And how do you not get it stolen?
Look, finally, an interesting one, and I quite like the sound of this, is simplification. We're going to look at business models, marketing models, going down from, big 10, 11, 12 pages down to 1 pages, resumes, right down. We're simplifying everything, including technology.
That's it, Catherine. And it's really, we all need to, in a corporate sense, embrace our inner Marie Kondo. Because what we're seeing, and so National Australia Bank announced this year they've got a radical simplification project. And so I think all organisations and everyone within organisations needs to look at all of the processes that we have and say, does it spark joy? And if it doesn't, throw it out.
OK, so we'll be rolling business plans, not socks, in the office if we return to the office, indeed. Always great to talk to you.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Nick Abrahams, have a great new year. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much, Catherine. Thanks, David.